There was a time when I could do all of this in one day. I could wake up, get my two toddlers sorted, spend hours in the kitchen cooking, baking, washing dishes, portioning everything up, and somehow get through it. But things are a little bit different now. I'm still a mom of two toddlers, but I now also have a 12-week-old baby. And honestly, the things I used to do in one day are no longer things I can realistically do in one day. So this time, instead of trying to force myself to do everything the way I used to, I decided to spread my batch cooking over 5 days. And I can actually think this is something we don't talk about enough as mothers. The importance of creating a system that works for your home and your current season of life, especially when you don't have a community or a village around you. Sometimes you have to create systems that support you because at the end of the day, mom still has to keep things moving. We actually moved to a new country about 7 months ago and we are still finding our feet. The town we live in is predominantly white, so there aren't really African shops around us. If I need African ingredients, I either have to drive to another town or order online from African shops. So I have to plan a little more carefully, and this is one of the reasons batch cooking has become so useful for me. I want to make the most of the ingredients I have and most importantly make the life easier for myself and those days when cooking dinner from scratch is just not happening. So this is what I managed to get done over 5 days. I started with a salted pepper soup. Pepper soup is one of the meals that I love having available because it's comforting, full of flavor, and it's one less dinner I have to think about later. And when you are cooking for a family, especially with little children, having food already prepared is such a lifesaver. I also baked 2 banana cakes. I wanted to have something available for the children during the week because with toddlers, somebody is always hungry. And I really enjoy baking for my family, especially when I know it's something the children will actually eat. Although, of course, you can spend all that time making something and they can look at you straight in the face and say, I don't want it. That's just part of being a toddler mom. The next day, I made Congolese-style beans with dried fish. We are Congolese and Nigerian family for reference. This one is one of those dishes that reminds me of home. And since moving countries, I've realized even more how much food is connected to where we come from. When you're away from home, cooking the food you grew up eating can bring a little bit of familiarity into your everyday life. I also made grilled chicken and I had portioned everything out thinking, okay, perfect, that's another dinner sorted. But my children and I had other plans. They ate one entire container of chicken immediately. So one portion that I had carefully prepared for later became dinner that same day. Honestly, I couldn't even be upset because they're children and at least I know they enjoyed it. On another day, I made a goosey soup. And by this point, I was really happy that I decided to spread everything out. Because if I had tried to make all of these meals in one day with a newborn and 2 toddlers, I honestly don't think I would have made it to the end. Baby has her own schedule. The toddlers have their own schedule. And somehow everybody needs mom at the exact same time. So instead of trying to find one magical day when I have enough time and energy to do everything, I'm learning to work with what I have. If I have 1 hour, I cook for an hour and then I carry on the next day. For me, that's what a realistic system looks like now. And then, just when I thought everything was going according to plan, something happened. The food stuff I had ordered online didn't all arrive. My turkey and beef were missing from the delivery. And this was really frustrating because I'd planned my meals around those ingredients. I contacted the store and then I contacted them again. Days of going back and forth. Honestly, it was really frustrating. Eventually, they arrived. So I washed the turkey and the beef, portioned everything nicely and put them away in the freezer. I was thinking, okay, finally, everything is sorted. But apparently, that was not the end of my problems because the next day, I discovered that my toddler, the 2-year-old, unplugged the freezer. Thankfully, nothing went bad. In fact, everything was still very cold. Here's what happened next. I tapped the control panel and I ordered the alarm freezer immediately from Amazon. This incident happened in less than 24 hours because I last used the freezer around 4 p.m. My guess is she must have switched it off immediately after me. It was around 9 a.m. on the next day when I realized the freezer has been off. Food health and safety does not recommend to refreeze frozen food, so the cooking began. This is not banana. This is plantain. I made plantain cake for the first time. I usually make banana cake, but this was my first time. Please don't ask me about measurement. Don't ask me about ingredients. I was winging it, but the end result was yum. Ooh, my baby's choking from breast milk. And this is where the turkey stew and banga soup came in. And honestly, this was one of those moments where I had to remind myself that the whole point of this wasn't to create some perfect batch cooking experience. It's real life. Things happen. Toddlers unplug freezers. Online orders doesn't arrive when you expect it to. And sometimes you just have to change the plan and keep it going. You start the week with a plan and 5 minutes later you are improvising. And honestly, this whole experience reminded me why I need system in the first place. Because when you have 3 children, there are already so much unpredictable things happening. I don't need my meals to be another unpredictable thing. I want to open the freezer and know that there is something I can pull out for dinner. I want to have days where I don't have to think about what am I going to cook. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of batch cooking for me. It's not about having a perfectly organized freezer. It's not about cooking 20 different meals in one day. It's simply about making tomorrow a little easier. And because I don't have a big community around me here, I've realized that I have to be intentional about creating that support within my own home. My system might be different from somebody else's, and that's okay. Before having the baby, I could cook all of this in one day. Now, I can't. And instead of seeing that as me being less productive, I'm trying to see it for what it is. My circumstances have changed, so my system has to change too. The whole point is to feed my family and make my life easier. And looking at everything now, I'm actually really glad I didn't try to do it all in one day. Because realistically, in this season of my life, that would have been exhausting. It wasn't perfect. It definitely didn't go according to plan, and I think that's what I'm learning as a mother. Sometimes we need to stop trying to do things the way we used to do them and start asking ourselves, what would actually make my life easier now? For me right now, that's having a system. It's planning ahead. It's batch cooking. It's making use of the ingredients I can get even when getting them isn't always easy. And it's accepting that with 3 little children, something will probably go wrong along the way. But at least now, future me has some dinners waiting for her. And honestly, that's enough for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in my next video. Bye.